first thoughts from training today and how good it feels to be back on the pitch?
Well, firstly, it feels fantastic to be back on the pitch. You know, I've been sitting in the office for 3 months waiting for this day to come around, and generally delighted. Obviously, we've got a whole new squad here. I know some of the players, but there's a lot of players that I don't know. So I think the key thing today was just to get the players out there, get some of their energy out, some of their anxiety, because it's a difficult day for a lot of young players, in particular the first day of training. So it was good to get out and just actually have a look at them play and get them into soccer straight away. And my first impressions are very good. You know, I think there's nobody out there that looks like they're out of place. I think there's nobody out there that looks like they've come back in bad shape. So, you know, the team's in good condition, players are in good condition, and the competition was fairly fierce. So all in all, a very good first day.
So you have your first preseason friendly this coming Saturday. What are you looking for in training this week leading into that?
Well, again, I think most of this week will be just about actually us having a look at the players and assessing the players, particularly as we've got at least 6 trialists in here. And then as the week goes on, probably a little bit more structure to the practice, and then taking that into the game at the weekend. And again, the game is more about observation, about being able to actually have a look at players in an 11v11. It can be a little bit misleading if you're only looking at players in small-sided games. So as we get further into the week, it's a little bit more structure, a little bit bigger games, and then obviously into the game at the weekend.
Are there any girls out there that you're kind of looking on to lead the team a bit? Some of the girls that have been around the league and that you brought in, Kaylin Kyle, Sarah Hagen?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've already seen that today, and you know, the ones that have been there and are very experienced, likes of Kaylin, Sarah, Becky Edwards, you know, and a few others have already you start them to see them as those mature players and automatic leaders in the group. But I think you know, it's an interesting word, leadership, because I think players lead in different ways, and even young players can get in there and show different leadership qualities as well.
Tom, does the dynamic change at all when Ashlyn and Morgan get here later this week?
The dynamic will change once those two come in and once our international players come in, because then hopefully things will step up, you know, even higher than they are at the moment. And obviously we're adding great quality to the squad. So I think when we get all those players back in, then we'll start to see the tempo, we'll start to see the quality, we'll start to see the intensity of training improve.
Coach, when do you start working on team chemistry?
Well, you're always doing that, to be honest. Are you talking about on or off the field? Or both? I think you're constantly looking at that. Off the field, obviously, the little things like, you know, we have breakfast together, we have lunch together, and if we're training in the afternoon, you have dinner together. The players are already staying in the same apartment block, so that you already look at that, if you like, informal chemistry off the field, and players starting to get on and mix and mingle with each other. And amongst that, we'll obviously do a couple of sort of, if you like, team building practices to get, again, everybody to get to know each other a little bit better. You know, on the field, it's just, as I say, as we get further into the pre-season, it's more about the structure of the team, the structure of practices, and then looking at how cohesive players are with one another, and then obviously a little bit more coaching coming into the practices.
When do you start incorporating tactics like formation and strategies?
Well, when everybody gets, we'll do some of it this week, because we've got a game at the weekend, so we need to get some organisation in preparation for that. But when we have all of our squad here, and then we start to sift out where we think players stand in the squad, you start to get closer to what you think your starting 11 is going to be, then that's when you start getting a little bit more tactical.
Can you talk a little bit about what the team plans to do with a reserve side? Obviously you can only have 20 rostered players.
Yeah, we can have 20 rostered players and 6 amateur players, and you know, hopefully we're able to get those amateur players, because particularly in an Olympic year, we're going, particularly now that Australia have qualified, Brazil, Canada and the US, we are going to be hit pretty hard at times during the year. So having those extra players is going to be important. Having a strong squad is going to be important. With Sorry, I forgot the first part of your question. I'm going to see now.
I was just wondering what kind of plan you as an organization had for that.
Oh, that reserve team. Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. Look, the reserve team or something to support the first team or the first team squad will be something we put in place. But we've got to take things step by step. You know, the clubs put a team in the MLS only a year ago. They've now added another 2 teams to that, which is, you know, a significant increase. You know, some people here now have to actually do a day's work. You know. Just kidding. So it's put an enormous amount of workload on the organisation as it is. So you have to go step by step, and so it's important for us to get this team, to get all of that sorted out, to get that stable, and to get the things that we've got in place up and running as best we can. Then we can look at the next step.
What are your goals going into the season as you start off today?
It's a good question. I mean, we want to be. I certainly believe we've got a squad that can be very competitive in this competition. The unknown factor is that when you're putting a brand new team together, you're never quite sure how easily or how well it's going to gel or how things are going to fit in place. Obviously, initially there's that great enthusiasm around the place, but you know, then sort of reality, you get a reality check every now and then. So it's difficult to put a definitive, you know, marker on where we want to be. Perhaps by the time the season starts, I'll have a better idea of that and actually say, you know, I'd love to stand here and say we want to be in the top 4, because we do. How realistic that is, you know, I don't really know, but we'll be certainly pushing to be competitive, to win games, and obviously to try and get in that top 4.
With this being a new team, are you satisfied with the job yourself and the rest of the front office did with the makeup of the squad?
Definitely myself. The rest of the front staff, you know, I'm not so sure. No, look, I think we've had great support from the organisation in putting this squad together, and I think collectively we've put together a really good squad, a really good balanced squad of real high quality international players, real high quality experienced players that have been in and around the league for a few years and know what the league's about. And I think we've got real good potential among some of the young players that we've brought in.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Sarah, just talk about your first day training out here with the girls.
First day of training was great. We just got right into it. A little warm up, passing pattern, possession, and then played with a little small sided. So a little bit of everything. A nice way to ease into our first day. Everyone was pretty excited to kind of get things started.
I know you've had some kind of off the field time to start to gel with the girls. Are you starting to feel that chemistry develop? I know it's early, but
yeah, we've had a few of us have been here for almost 2 weeks now. We had our first team dinner at our apartments, a little potluck. So we're trying to do things just to get everyone feeling together and welcome everyone into Orlando. It seems like we have a great group of girls, so I think the season will be fun.
You talked about just the fitness level a little bit. It seemed pretty good today. What did you have to do in the off season to keep that up?
I think people, did different things wherever they were from. I'm from Wisconsin, so I had to train indoors the entire time. So being out on grass is a little different for me. Just you know your body more than anyone else. So just doing what you think you need to do to prepare yourself for this preseason. Our Tom Sermanni is a great guy. He's going to make sure that he doesn't push us too hard, but push us enough to make sure that we're prepared. So just coming into this first day, I think it was just really important for us to kind of get a feel for each other, get a feel for the field, and just kind of ease into it.
Can you talk about your areas of focus this week in training going into the friendly on Saturday?
Like I said before, just trying to get everyone's legs back, and we got to try and figure out how each other played, how we all play together. We have our first test this Saturday, so that'll be big for us. Yeah.
Can you talk about what kind of goals or expectations you set for yourself personally going into the season?
For me personally, I want to be able to make an impact on the team, be able to contribute on the offensive side. Want to be able to work hard. Just being here in Orlando for the 2 weeks I've been here, just the city, the people in the area, the culture, everyone is so excited for this team. So for us, we're just as equally as excited to play for everyone here. So I hope I can do well for the team, do well for the fans, and hopefully help us win.
Did the coach communicate any kind of expectations that he had for you specifically?
I'm sure he was joking, but our president owner was like, all right, we got a championship to win. Not joking, but we don't want to put any pressure on ourselves. There's not a ton of expectations. We do want to. I mean, we're here. We're good players. We're gonna give it our all. We're gonna aim to win every single game. But at the end of the day, it's a new club. We're new to the league, so we just need to put a name for ourselves out there.
Okay.